What do you do when the person you expect to lean on the most is silent during your deepest pain? Sometimes the hardest words to say, and finally to hear, are the ones that heal a broken heart. Have you ever felt alone in grief? The silverware clinks softly as I set the dinner table, one plate less than before. The kitchen is quiet, except for the clock ticking above the fridge. I glance at the boxes of unopened condolence cards lined up on the mantel, and my heart squeezes. My hands move on autopilot, slicing carrots, heating up Avery's favorite noodles, but my mind drifts to everything I can't say out loud. Avery wanders in, her socks sliding on the linoleum, clutching her favorite stuffed bear. "Mom, can we light the candle for Grandma tonight?" I force a soft smile and nod. "Of course, sweet pea. We'll light it before bed." Matthew's footsteps thud on the porch. He opens the door, already loosening his tie. "Sorry, I'm late. Traffic was a nightmare." His words land flat, and he doesn't look at me. I swallow, wiping my hands on a dish towel. Dinner's almost ready. He drops his bag by the door and heads straight for the laundry room, not even a glance at the empty chair. I want to ask if he's okay, if he misses her too, but the words just sit in my chest, heavy and stuck. Avery sets the napkins out, humming under her breath. "Daddy, can we do the family game tonight?" Matthew's voice drifts from the hallway, muffled. "We'll see, kiddo. I've got some work to finish up." I watch the way Avery's face falls for a moment, then brightens again as she sees her bowl of noodles. I sit across from her, but the silence presses in. Halfway through dinner, she pushes her food around. "Are you sad, Mom?" I blink quickly, holding it together. "A little. I miss her too." She leans across and hugs my arm, not saying anything else. I can't remember the last time all three of us laughed at this table. Matthew finally comes back, pours himself a glass of water, and stands by the sink scrolling his phone. I catch his eye, searching for something. Permission to talk, a sign I'm not going crazy. But he just turns away, tapping at an email. After dinner, I clean up quietly as Matthew disappears into the living room, already flicking through the TV. Avery helps me put the last spoon in the drawer, looking up. "Is Dad mad?" I kneel down, tucking her hair behind her ear. "No, honey, he's just tired. We're all a little tired." She nods and curls up on the couch with her bear, waiting for bedtime. The house feels colder as the sun sinks. I pour myself a cup of tea and sit on the edge of the bed, wrapping my arms around my knees. The unopened cards wait on the mantel, each one a reminder that people cared, but the words still feel too sharp to open. Sometimes I wonder if I'm invisible inside my own house. Night creeps in. I tuck Avery under her blanket, switch on her nightlight, and light the candle like we promised. We both stare at the flame, her small hand in mine. She whispers, "Good night, Mom. Good night, Grandma." After she drifts off, I move back through the hallway, every floorboard creaking, each step another memory. Matthew's already upstairs. Lights out. I pause in the living room, my eyes on the photo, the one with all of us, smiles wide, before the loss leaves a shadow across every room. I lean closer, touching the frame. In the dark, I whisper, "I hope someone still sees me." Turning out the lights, I stand for a moment longer, the weight of everything we haven't said hanging in the air. If you've ever lost someone and felt like you were grieving alone, I hope you'll share your thoughts. Does anyone still notice your sorrow? Or did the world move on too soon? The days seem to blur together now. I wake before the sun, but the house still feels dim. Even when Avery flips all the lights on and hums morning songs by the fridge. Matthew leaves before breakfast most days, tie askew, voice clipped as he mumbles something about deadlines and traffic. One quick, "Have a good day." Then the door closes and the quiet grows. Avery crunches her cereal, swinging her feet under the table. "Mom, did Dad say bye?" she asks, frowning a little. I nod, stacking dishes, but my smile doesn't reach my eyes. "He just had to hurry, honey. We'll see him at dinner." Truth is, I scarcely remember the last time all three of us ate together. Most evenings, I reheat leftovers, putting off setting the table so I won't notice the empty chair. When Matthew does walk in, it's late. He barely glances at the meal I leave out, offers a tired, "Thanks, I'm beat," and disappears behind a wall of emails and muted television. I fill every hour with chores and busy work. Folding laundry, wiping counters are already clean, watering a wilting plant. There are moments when I stand still, keys in hand, or the kettle whistling behind me, and realize I haven't spoken a real sentence all day, as if I'm fading around the edges. Avery notices too. She sits with her coloring books beside me, pulling at the hem of my sweater. "Do you think Daddy forgets about Grandma?" she asks, eyes wide, searching my face. My heart pinches. "No, sweetie. He remembers. It's just hard for grown-ups to talk about sad things sometimes." She draws little hearts on the back of a grocery list. "We could tell happy stories instead." I try to smile. "I'll think of some good ones for bedtime." Outside, the world keeps spinning. Buses rumble past. Neighbors argue over hedge lines. The mail drops with a thud. But inside, silence grows thick, filling every space where laughter or even a sigh used to be. Midweek, there's a knock at the back door. Nancy from next door stands there, casserole dish wrapped in a faded tea towel. She's wearing those bright rain boots, cheeks rosy from the wind. "I just wanted to drop this off for you," she says, voice warm and gentle. "Thought you might like a break from cooking." I thank her, too quickly maybe, and promise I'll return the dish soon. She hesitates, reaching out to touch my arm. "If you ever need to talk, I'm right across the driveway, honey." For a second, I want to fall into her arms, tell her how lonely it feels, how people tiptoe around the loss and never ask if I'm still hurting. But the words stick. I thank her again and close the door softly behind me. That night, I set the casserole on the counter, untouched. Avery pokes at her dinner, quiet and small, beside me. When she's ready for bed, she clings to my hand a little tighter. "Can we light the candle again?" I nod, striking the match. We watch the flame flicker in the dark. "Do you want to tell Grandma about your day?" I whisper. She nods, eyes shining, then curls into her blanket. After I tuck her in, I wander into the living room, candlelight dancing on the mantel where sympathy cards are still piled high, their envelopes sealed and untouched. My tea sits cold in my hands. Down the hall, I hear Matthew's footsteps on the stairs, moving away instead of closer. He doesn't peek in to say goodnight. I don't call out to him. I sit by the window, feeling more like a shadow than a person, wondering if the distance between us is something I can fix, or just something to learn to live inside. Have you ever felt alone in your grief because everyone around you moved on, pretending nothing happened? How did you cope? Or are you still searching for comfort? Your words might help someone else feel a little less invisible. Please, share below. The sound of spoons clinking against bowls fills the kitchen. It's a rushed morning, but no one's really talking. I pour juice while Avery digs through her backpack, frowning. "I forgot my homework," she mumbles, tugging at her straps. Matthew looks up from his coffee. "Again? Avery, we talked about this." "I'm sorry," she says, shrinking into her chair. I try to keep the tone light. "It's okay. We'll print it again before school. No big deal." It is a big deal, Matthew snaps, sharper than he needs to be. She has to take it seriously. Something about the way he says it, tight, tired, makes my teeth clench. I glance at him across the table. She's trying. It's not like she meant to forget. He pushes back from his chair. There's always an excuse lately. For everything. I stop, wiping the counter, and face him. You mean me, don't you? His jaw tightens. Like he didn't mean to say it, but doesn't take it back either. All the words I've swallowed these past weeks suddenly rise to my throat. I still think about her, I say quietly. Every day. I wake up, and she's the first thing that comes to mind. I pause, but he's staring into his mug. I try again. I don't know how you've pushed past it so fast. He barely meets my eyes, because sitting in it won't change anything, Marie. We have to move on. The words sting more than I expect. I blink quickly, nodding once. Right, of course. Avery watches us both, like she's trying to disappear. I kneel down and smooth her ponytail. Get your shoes, baby, I say softly. I'll print that homework. After she leaves the room, I gather the dishes quietly. Matthew rinses his cup and starts loading the dishwasher. He doesn't say another word. I glance at the plant in the corner, once green and bright by the window. I forgot to water it weeks ago. One leaf tips over, brown and brittle, like it just gave up. By the time I step outside with Avery, the sky is already overcast. She climbs into the car, too quiet for a kid who usually sings the whole ride to school. Later that evening, the house is dim again. No TV, no radio, just the soft hum of the refrigerator and the buzz of my thoughts. Matthew's upstairs. He didn't eat dinner, just said he wasn't hungry. I sit on the edge of the couch, phone in hand, scrolling through old photos. Birthdays, laughing holidays, her in the kitchen, apron tied too tight. Me and Matthew holding a baby Avery between us. Both of us younger and brighter. Now, we barely speak. It's not even an official fight. There was no yelling, no slammed doors, just a quiet kind of hurt that rots under the surface. I scroll a little longer, thumb frozen over a photo of her hugging Avery at the fall parade. We used to feel like a family. Now, I feel like I live next to a man who looks like my husband, but doesn't know how to reach for me anymore. I turn out the lights and sit in the dark, my arms wrapped around a throw pillow, thinking about everything we left unsaid. Have you ever had a moment where you tried to speak from your pain, and the person you loved just couldn't hear it? What do you do when silence starts to feel louder than any words? Share your story below. Someone else might need it too. The phone rests against my shoulder as I wait. One ring, two. Then Jocelyn's voice comes through, like a breath of warmth I didn't know I needed. Hey, stranger. I was just thinking about you. I don't speak right away. The lump in my throat sits heavy. Jocelyn pauses, then asks, softer, how are you doing, really? I press my eyes shut. Tired, lonely, like I'm walking around our house, but not actually in it. Matthew barely looks at me, and when I try to talk, he just pulls away. She exhales. I'm so sorry, Marie. I nod, even though she can't see me. It's like we both lost the same person, but I'm the only one still grieving. Jocelyn is quiet for a moment. Then her voice turns steady. You're not. People just show it differently. Some hide in their heads, some hide in work, some stop talking altogether, like if they speak it out loud, it'll break them. I whisper, it already broke me. She sighs. You've always been the one who leads with your heart, but don't carry it all alone. If you want to keep this between you and Matthew, you have to let him see what's still hurting. Real love needs real words, even if they're messy. I swallow back more tears. my voice barely a whisper. What if he's never ready to hear it? Then at least you won't spend the rest of your life wondering what could have happened if you'd said it. Grief needs air, Marie. Otherwise, it rots. After we hang up, I sit in the kitchen and stare at the stack of open mail. Jocelyn's voice echoes in my head. Don't carry it alone. I trace the edge of the tabletop with my finger and remind myself that I'm still here. I'm still trying. 2 days later, Susan stops by with a store-bought pie and soft eyes that see too much. She looks around quietly as I pour iced tea, taking in the empty spaces, the untouched calendar, the dusty houseplant, the way Matthew's jacket isn't on the hook. After a few bites of lunch, she sets her fork down gently. You doing okay? Really? I pause, then give the only honest answer I have. I'm not sure. She nods, like she's not surprised. Matt says he's been busy with work, but he looks tired. Not just tired in his body, tired in his spirit. I asked him how he's handling all this, and he just changed the subject. Her words hang there, tender and careful. She continues. He's always been that way. As kids, he'd clean the garage top to bottom when something upset him. Never cried in front of us. Never wanted help. I fold my napkin in my lap. I don't want to push him, but his silence feels like punishment. Susan's voice softens. Sometimes silence is just pain with no words yet. Doesn't mean he doesn't feel. It means he doesn't know how to say it. That night, after Avery's bath, I help her zip her pajamas. Her wet hair smells like lavender shampoo. She wraps her arms around me, tighter than usual. Can I sleep with the light on? She whispers. I smooth her blanket. Yeah, baby, you can. She pulls me close again. Everything's gonna be okay, right? I freeze, then nod slowly. Yes, it is. After I tuck her in, I sit alone in the hallway. The air feels still. I think about my best friend's words, and Susan's. Everyone grieves differently, but someone has to go first. Someone has to be brave enough to say, this still hurts. My thoughts drift to the way she used to comfort me. Just sitting beside me on the porch, handing me a blanket, not talking if I didn't want to. She never rushed me, never filled the air. She let me feel, even when I couldn't explain it. That was her gift, quiet without pressure, stillness without shame. And now, I crave that feeling again, the permission to feel without it being a problem. So I sit under the soft hallway light, hugging my knees tight, listening for signs from the next room. Not footsteps, no apologies, just something real, something open. Maybe tomorrow I'll tell him how it feels when he turns away. Maybe tomorrow I'll ask him to stay with me in the silence instead of hiding from it. Have you ever been with someone who doesn't talk about the hard stuff? Do you wait? Do you speak first? Would you risk the argument just to stop feeling so far away? Tell me in the comments. What did it take to reconnect when someone you loved shut down? That night, before I turn the lights off, I hold Avery a little longer at bedtime and wonder what kind of home we're building. In silence, or in truth. The phone rings just after lunch. It's the school. Avery had a hard morning, the teacher says gently. She burst into tears during reading. She couldn't really explain why. Just said she missed home. I thank her, blink hard, and hang up. My hands hover over the sink, the dishwater growing cold. That evening, the house smells like tomato soup, Matthew's favorite. I cooked it, hoping for peace, hoping maybe we'd sit and just talk. Dinner's quiet. Avery pushes crackers into her bowl without saying much. Matthew scrolls his phone between bites. I glance at him. The school called today. He looks up, distracted. Yeah? About Avery? He straightens. Is she in trouble? No, I say softly. Just really emotional. Out of nowhere. She said she missed home. He nods but doesn't ask more. His eyes settle back on his screen. I wait another beat before speaking again. I think she's holding in more than we thought. Matthew shrugs. She'll be okay. Kids get emotional. I set my spoon down gently. I'm not okay, I whisper. I haven't been. And I've been trying, Matthew. I've been trying not to fall apart. He finally looks at me. You think I'm not trying too? His tone sharpens. I go to work. I handle the bills. I show up. What do you want me to do? My eyes sting. I want you to see me. I want you to say her name. I want to grieve with you, not around you. His hands tap the table, frustrated. You act like I don't feel anything. Marie, I do. I just don't wear it on my sleeve. I'm not asking you to break down, I say, voice shaking now. I'm asking you not to disappear. Every time I try to talk, you walk away. I don't know how to talk about it, he snaps. We both stop. The silence is loud in the kitchen. Avery's footsteps come from the hallway, hesitant. She peeks in, eyes wide. Are you guys okay? I kneel beside her, pull her close. We are, just talking, I say, forcing calm into a broken moment. She nods and returns to her room. The door shuts with a quiet click. Matthew sighs, rubbing his face. I'm not the bad guy here, Marie. I never said you were. I breathe. But I'm tired of grieving in the dark. Neither of us moves. We sit there, separate, soup bowls, untouched. Later that night, I cleared the table in silence. The pile of sympathy cards still sits in the corner. I picked one up, beautiful cursive, a message about peace after passing. But tonight, that word, peace, feels too far out of reach. I walk to the trash, and for the first time since everything happened, I drop it inside. That card isn't helping anymore, and neither is this silence. The house is dark, Avery's asleep. The hallway feels colder than it should. Matthew sits in the living room, alone, the TV on low, background noise to avoid real sound. And I sit in our room, hugging a pillow, staring into the quiet, wondering when we stopped being each other's person. Something has to give. If you've ever reached your breaking point, not from anger, but from silence, what did you do? Did you speak first or walk away? Tell me in the comments. You're not the only one who's felt unheard by the person they love. The house feels heavy, even with the windows open. Dishes pile in the sink. Shoes stay scattered by the door. We still say good morning and good night. But now it sounds like two neighbors being polite, not partners building a life. Each night, I lie awake longer, thinking about leaving. Not for good, just a weekend. Maybe stay with Jocelyn. Maybe talk to someone who will actually look me in the eye and ask how I'm doing, and stay in the room long enough to hear the answer. But I don't pack a bag. I don't text her. Instead, I pull out a small piece of paper and start writing. I miss you. I miss talking to you, laughing with you. I miss sharing the hard stuff with the one person I thought would always understand it best. She's gone, but you're still here, and it scares me how far away you feel. I fold the note, smooth the crease down, and tuck it under his pillow. Not dramatic, just there, just honest. The next day passes slowly. We move like we usually do. Quiet, polite, distant. He doesn't say anything about the note, but I catch him looking at me twice. Once too long. Once like he had something to say, but didn't know how. That night, before bed, I see the papers gone. And still, silence. But something is shifting. Downstairs, Matthew sits at the dining table after I've gone to bed. The letter trembles slightly in his fingers. He reads it again, this time slower and quietly. memories flood back. He sees himself at 10, sitting on the floor of a quiet living room. His mother was folding laundry in silence. His father was outside, fixing things until it got dark. After the funeral, nobody cried in front of each other. They just moved around the quiet like it was furniture. No one ever said, "I'm hurting too." No one said anything. He remembers sitting on the porch alone, wondering if anyone else in the house wanted to talk but didn't know how. Now, years later, he's become that same shadow of a man, fixing things, staying busy, keeping conversations short, thinking it would protect his family from falling apart. But all it's done is leave them hanging in the dark, thinking they're the only ones still aching. He closes his eyes, folds the letter again, and lays it gently on the table in front of him. When was the last time I told her she wasn't alone? The clock ticks louder in the quiet. The weight of everything unspoken is louder still. Have you ever had to lower your guard and speak from truth instead of fear? What helped you find the words, the courage to start again? Let's talk in the comments. What made you finally break the silence? Matthew sits there a while longer, head in his hands, letter beside his mug. He finally stands, walks to the stairs, and takes a breath before heading up. This time, he doesn't turn away. He's finally ready to talk. But is it too late? The rain taps steady against the living room windows, a soft backdrop to a morning thicker with hope than dread. I listen as Matthew moves through the hallway, not hurried, not escaping, just here. The house feels different, quieter in a new way, as though it's waiting for something gentle to begin again. He stands at the doorway, clutching a mug, eyes searching mine. "Marie, can you sit with me? Just for a little while." His voice is softer than it's been in months. I lower my book and slip onto the couch. He sits beside me, leaving only a cushion of space. For a minute, neither of us talks. The tick of the clock and the rain fill what words can't. Matthew clears his throat. I need to say something I should have said a long time ago. I nod, heart pounding. His hands fidget. He looks straight at me, his voice trembling. "I'm sorry for walking away, for shutting you out, for making you feel alone in this. I thought I was protecting you, or maybe protecting myself, but all I did was build a wall that kept us both hurting." I look down, the first tear sliding down my cheek. He keeps going. "I've been so scared. I lost my mom. But I also feel like I was losing you, maybe losing us. I thought if I ignored it, I'd feel better. I was wrong. I'm tired of being afraid and tired of pretending we're okay when we're not." He rests his hand on mine. "You never needed me to fix anything. You just needed me to be here with you." My voice breaks. I just wanted to be seen, to not feel crazy for missing her so much, for missing you. You were right next to me, but I felt like the only one in this house with a broken heart. Matthew's eyes fill, and his words come quietly. "We lost her. I don't want to lose what's left. I miss her. I miss us. And I miss you, Marie. I don't want to run anymore. You don't have to be strong for me. Let's be weak together, or just real together. I love you. I'm so sorry I haven't shown it." That's when I let the tears come. Deep, whole, not hiding. For her, for him, for all the days I sat wishing for this very moment, where honesty would matter more than pride. We sit like that, hands together, faces streaked, just breathing. There's no timeline on grief, no straight line through healing, only this, the trying, the talking, the courage to ask for comfort and to give it back. We keep talking, slow, honest words. He tells me about his long nights, his fears of not being enough, of repeating mistakes from his childhood. I tell him how small and forgettable I felt, how I'd trade every silent meal for a single, real conversation like this one. After a while, the houseplant in the corner catches Matthew's eye. Its leaves droop, brown at the tips, just like how we've felt. He stands and quietly fills a cup at the sink, bringing it back to water the plant. He touches the soil, careful and present. "I guess we both forgot how to care for things that need it," he says softly. "Let's try again." Just then, Avery runs in from her room, a fistful of marker-drawn hearts and sunny faces clutched to her chest. "Look, Mom, I made pictures for us. One for everybody, even for Grandma." She clambers onto the couch and snuggles between us, spreading the drawings in our laps. Matthew wraps his arm around her and me, and the three of us sit close. No one missing, no one left out. The house finally holding the shape of us as a family. When dinner time comes, we set the table together. Avery picks out the special candle from the cabinet, and Matthew strikes the match. We eat slowly, laughter surprising us in little bursts, the room bright from more than just the light of the flame. It's not perfect. The pain isn't gone, but something has opened. Warmth drifts back into the corners, and for the first time in weeks, I believe we will find our way through, together. If you've ever waited for words that heal, or reached out when it felt impossible, you know how much it matters just to be seen. Has someone's honesty brought your heart back home? Tell us your story in the comments. You might help someone else believe in tomorrow. The sound of pancake batter sizzling fills the kitchen. Avery hums while mashing blueberries in a bowl. Matthew flips flapjacks like a pro now. Even adds a smiley face in syrup, just to make her laugh. The mornings feel lighter than they used to. We still have quiet moments, still pause when her name comes up. But now there's comfort in it instead of tension. It's been a few months. We go on walks more often, sometimes to the park, sometimes just around the block. No talking required, just being. That's something we've learned. Grief doesn't always need words, but love still does. We remembered her birthday together, baked her favorite cake, let Avery spread way too many sprinkles. We lit a candle and shared one thing we still carry from her. Avery said, "She hugged like clouds," and my heart just filled. Somehow that said it all. Matthew doesn't avoid the hard stuff now. Some days he still struggles to talk, but I see the way he listens closer, how he reaches for my hand more, often how he leans in when I speak. He still gets quiet, but it's not the same quiet. It's not distance anymore. It's care. We made space for our pain, and in doing that, we made space for each other again. Saturday mornings, Matthew waters the plant by the window. It's green again. Not perfect, but growing. Like us. Avery's drawings still cover the fridge. She adds new ones for Grandma all the time. "This one's for the sky," she says, handing me a picture of a garden with sparkly stars. We tape it near the mantel, right next to the family photo we took last weekend. There we are, together, changed, but still holding on. Some of the sympathy cards are still there, but now they're surrounded by new ones. A note from Susan, a doodle from Avery, a little paper heart from Jocelyn. Messages that say, "We're still here, we're healing, we remember." The house isn't full of sadness anymore. It's full of gentle pieces of her. A recipe we keep in the drawer. A scarf folded on the shelf. A storybook we still read on rainy days. Loss taught us how fragile love feels, but also how strong it can be when you keep showing up for one another. If you've ever lost someone you love, how do you keep their memory with you? What helped your family hold close without falling apart? Tell us in the comments. Someone out there needs your story. The photo sits on the mantel. The cards, the notes, the blooming plant. It's not how I expected healing to look, but it's real, it's soft, it's honest, and it's enough. If this story touched your heart, take a moment to think about the people you've lost and the love that still lives on. Have you found a way to keep their memory close in your everyday life? Share your story in the comments. Your words could remind someone else that healing doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering with love. And if you believe in second chances, quiet strength, and growing stronger together, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real stories that speak to the heart. Because even after loss, love has a way of finding its way home.